Cleveland Brown fans, I need you to chime in for me. So far, it's not looking too good for the Cleveland Browns faithful. Their head coach search is still going on, and the issue about taking so long to find your head coach is that one, it makes the decisions a little bit less cohesive when he comes in so close to the draft. Now, do not get me wrong, we still have plenty of time before the NFL draft. Uh, but you still, would like to have the CEO or at least the head of your team, being the head coach, in place before you start making organizational decisions that could impact the couple years of the franchise. So even if a team didn't have any picks, you can still go make some trades to go get some picks. You could trade some players from your current roster to go get some picks, stuff like that. So even if you didn't have picks or don't have picks, you still want a head coach because a lot of those decisions, while you could have your GM make them, if you're going to bring a new guy in for a new era in your organization, hopefully for that guy to be the guy long term, you're going to want to have him in when you start drafting or moving away pieces or trading pieces away, things like that. Now, while the Browns still have time to make a decision to get people in, there's a lot of head coaching candidates that are like, I'm good on coaching, period. Not necessarily saying anything against the Cleveland Browns directly, but just like, hey, the job's out there, not worth the grind. I'm kind of grinded out. I'm going to take a year off, maybe see where the coaching cycle next year takes, because this coaching cycle is very competitive. And that's why a lot of these jobs have been snatched up super quickly because it's been rich with a lot of head coaches that these teams are hoping could be the future head coach for the next 10 years or so, right? So you have now the Cleveland Browns. Why are the Cleveland Browns not a ideal destination for a head coach right now? You do not know what you're doing at quarterback. Not only that, you have a quarterback in Deshaun Watson who's owed so much money and is taking up so much salary cap space that you don't know what you're doing with him, right? You don't know if it's going to be him, Shador, Dylan Gabriel to start the season next year. You don't know. Okay? Even if you did know, to go use your draft pick this year to go get another quarterback, put him on the books, it just will be what Kevin Stefanski went through this past season. It will be this season again. It will be the same cycle. I do believe the Cleveland Browns have a top 5 defense, and they will for a long time. With that being said, they obviously need the offense. And I promise you, Cleveland Brown fans, I promise you, no matter how you feel about your current quarterback situation, the answer is not in this draft. It could be, but the issue is you still need offensive line help majorly. You still need wide receiver help majorly. You're good on tight ends, and you probably are good on running backs, but there's so much help that's needed. Getting a quarterback is not going to change your luck. This thing where this notion where you think you're just going to draft year one CJ Stroud, year one Jaden Daniels guy that's going to just get you into the playoffs, you're not, because your division is also not an easy one. It's going to be a very competitive division. You're the worst team in that division, and it's not even close. Despite the Bengals situation, at least they can drop 40 points on any defense they want at any point because of who they got on offense, right? So you're not just one guy away. And also, Shador Sanders just got... I'm a huge Shador Sanders fan, right? But I understand the silliness of him being a Pro Bowler now. But also, I figured as a society, we moved on from the Pro Bowl about 6 years ago. I thought we're only really counting Super Bowls, Super Bowl MVPs, All Pros, and, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, stuff like that. I thought we were just done with Pro Bowls because, no offense to Tyler Huntley, but he's also a Pro Bowler. You see what I'm saying? So Shador Sanders being a Pro Bowler this early with the season he had should not be a surprise to many people. The NFL is a business. Shador Sanders is one of their top 3 in jersey sales, and it's not even close. He's good for business. Using him in any way, shape, or form for the brand of the NFL, for the Shield, is beneficial. He also has sponsorships with two of the biggest brands in all of sports. All right, so they want him in. They get a lot of monetary value from this. Okay, so that's another issue, is that you're going to have teams or coaches that are looking at the Cleveland Browns saying Shedeur Sanders is too big to fail, right? That if you go in there and start anyone else other than Shedeur Sanders week 1 next season, you're not going to, it's going to be too much headache. It's just going to be too much headache. It's not going to be worth it. You're not going to get a shot to coach the team the way you may want to coach the team. Also, from what I'm seeing on the outside looking in, the team is all bought in on Shedeur Sanders. They're all bought in. Okay? So your team's bought in. By team, I mean the players. The players are bought in. Excuse me. The brands are bought in. All right? And the NFL clearly doesn't mind using him to boost ticket sales and viewership. It's just the brand of Shedeur Sanders is too big to fail right now. Okay? So that's another reason that would turn off a lot of head coaches. Is like, I just don't want to deal with that. To be honest with you, there's a world where your defensive coordinator becomes your head coach just to save time, trouble. He's established. He has one of the best defenses in the league continuously. Get him in. All right, last time he was head coach in an organization, it did not go well, but he put his time in. And you don't want to lose someone like him. I don't know if you want to lose someone like him when it comes to the defensive mind that he's had with this group of guys. You can go get yourself an offensive coordinator. There are still plenty of offensive coordinators that you can attach to a Shedeur Sanders, all right, or to a quarterback. Now, this is not a Shedeur Sanders video, but it is important because he's a quarterback and right now he's a starting quarterback, and I think he's just has to be the week 1 starter. I don't see a world in which you go get a offensive coordinator that will not be able to work well with Shedeur Sanders and with the scheme you're going to put around Shedeur. I think, again, you go use your assets, go get you more receiver help, solidify your both your tight ends come back healthy next season. You go get receiver help. I would ship off Jerry Jeudy for some picks or other assets that you can use to shore up that offensive line. There's a couple receivers that you can go get in this draft. They'll be day 1 starters and day 1 contributors to your offense. I will get you some of those. I would say I've seen enough from Shedeur Sanders, and there's just enough around him to know that I'm comfortable. If nothing else, I'm comfortable with just throwing him out there and seeing what happens. Again, with proper help and coaching this time. Go see what you really got in the young lad. All season, you're the starter. This is your team. Go with all the prep, with no pushback, there's no reps with the first team and this and that's throwing out cold. With none of that. Let's see what we got. Because worst case scenario, Shedeur gives you an absolutely god-awful season next season. You're like, you know what? You're on a rookie deal that is also a 5th-round rookie deal. Your money is of no consequence to us. We wash our hands of you. Go somewhere else. Cool. It'll be better for Shedeur. He's out of that organization. He can go be a backup somewhere else. Learn to develop properly. If Cleveland's not going to do it, Cleveland's not known for developing quarterback talent. And then Cleveland could be like, you know what? We can go get ourselves a quarterback. We have spent last year developing our receivers, shoring up our O-line. Now we're ready to go get ourselves a quarterback via trade or via rookie or draft process. And now we have ourselves a team. You could do that. But personally, again, I'll make a different video just about Shedeur, but personally, I've seen enough to that he should be the starter. Yeah, he was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league statistically. But context is very important. And I'm not saying he played lights out, right? But I think he showed that he can lead this team. I think he showed that the fan base is behind him, the players are behind him. I think he showed flashes of brilliantness. I think that He showed that he can throw the deep ball. He showed that he can be very accurate with the football. And I think he made a lot of rookie mistakes. And I think for someone that was a 5th-round pick, someone that people said shouldn't have been in the league, he played a lot better than he did. I don't think Dillon Gabriel is an answer. I think they wasted time on Dillon Gabriel. I think you should have started Shedeur Sanders since the beginning of the season, right? Let Joe Flacco be there guiding him. Shedeur gets hurt or plays awful, you put in Joe Flacco. I would have even drafted Dillon Gabriel first of all, but yeah, so there's that. And then you would have known, which you had a quarterback already, and then you could have used this draft if you really, really wanted to get yourself a quarterback. But instead, you got like 5 quarterbacks on your depth chart, none of them presumably being the answer. And then what, you going to get do the same thing this offseason? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I wouldn't do that. I think Shedeur will be fine. I think the Cleveland Browns have an issue with their head coach search right now. At least as I'm making this video, I could literally click publish on this video, and Cleveland Browns have a new head coach. But right now, it's just not a desirable spot. I think it was good to get rid of Kevin Stefanski because I feel like he just ran his course in that locker room, and it didn't help with the infighting from the owner and GM. And I think that it's gotten to it's gotten to a huge point now where we're going to see, is Kevin Stefanski as incompetent as he appeared to be, or is the Cleveland Browns just the Cleveland Browns? We're going to see, but that's part of the reason why the Cleveland Browns are in trouble and they're not a hot destination right now. But I think if you just, for once, Cleveland, just be like, hey, we have a quarterback with hype and a lot of potential. I'm still holding on to what he did at Colorado. All right? He did with Colorado with much less talent than a lot of the other guys. I'm looking at his tape. Yeah, there's a lot of mistakes, but a lot of players make mistakes. He's a rookie quarterback in the NFL with a head coach that didn't want him, who didn't coach to win didn't coach to put him in positions to win a lot of games. And he still went toe-to-toe with Cam Ward. All right? He went toe-to-toe with a lot of other quarterbacks. And I believe that he is not the sole reason for this offense not clicking. There's a lot of reasons, all right? Starting with the offensive coordinator and Kevin Stefanski when he was calling plays. So I just think Cleveland has a lot of mess that a head coach candidate may not want to get into, but I think that you can do this. I think they will get a coach. I just think it's already indoors. I think it's already in the building. I think the head coach is already there. They just need to give up on getting a sexy pick. I just don't see any coach right now saying, I want to go take that Cleveland job because I feel like I can turn that franchise around. Even if they feel that way, would they want to? I don't think so. But we'll see. It's still early. There is still some time. There's still some candidates. We'll see what happens. But Tennessee's not playing around. Tennessee went and got themselves coaches, culture. Chargers have done the same thing. Ravens have done the same thing. So we'll see. Browns, you're on the clock, and the clock is ticking. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts down below on the Cleveland Browns situation. See you on the next one. Peace.